sprouting. The fivefold lens breakdown, esoteric hexagram 3, represents the intense friction of the divine spark, compressing into dense physical form. It is the cosmic seed bursting open in the dark soil of the lower realms. The energy is raw, chaotic, and unformed, requiring the internal master to apply strict containment and direction so the vital force isn't scattered or wasted. Metaphysical. This is the law of chaos preceding order. The hexagram consists of water, Kan over thunder, Zhen, a storm raging, but a storm that brings life-giving rain. It represents the crucial zero-point phase of manifestation, where potential energy is exploding into kinetic energy, creating immense pressure before structural stability is achieved. Spiritual. This is the birth pangs of the Christos light within the soul temple. It represents the early stage of spiritual awakening, where the old matrix identity is collapsing, and the new divine blueprint is trying to anchor itself. It requires deep patience and absolute reliance on the Father, Son, and the Spirit of Spirits, divine feminine, to nurture the new life. Afrocentric. This is the primordial moment of creation from the primeval waters of Nun. It is the stage of the raw initiate entering the gates of the mystery school. Clumsy, overwhelmed, yet filled with immense, unrefined power. It represents the absolute necessity of anchoring oneself to a foundational structure and seeking the guidance of cosmic order, Ma'at, to shape the raw potential into divine kingship. Western application. This is the ultimate day one of a massive project, a new training cycle, or a complete life pivot. It is the messy, uncomfortable beginning, where everything feels heavy and confusing. It tells you that the struggle you feel isn't a sign of failure. It's the literal tax required to build something legendary from the ground up. The sole fundamental meaning. Growth is inherently violent to the shell that contains it. When you experience initial resistance, confusion, or pressure, the soul must not panic or force a premature outcome. Stand firm, organize your internal forces, break your sweat, and let the roots lock deep into the earth before you try to reach for the sun. The foundation is laid, and the frequency is set for the day. How do you want to move with this energy next?
Give me a deeper meaning and elaboration.
The structural anatomy, thunder below, water above. To look deeper into hexagram 3, Chun, we have to look at the geometry of the trigrams. You have thunder, Zen, at the bottom, pushing upward with explosive kinetic energy. But sitting right on top of it is water, Kan, representing the abyss, danger, and deep mystery. Imagine a massive lightning strike trying to rip through a dense, heavy fog, or a seed trying to punch through frozen, hard-packed earth. The upper water, Kan, represents the external environment right now. It is unclear, heavy, and full of hidden traps. The lower thunder, Zen, represents your internal state. It's the fire, the drive, the sudden urge to move, expand, and create. The friction between these two creates a temporary state of chaos. The deeper meaning here is that chaos is not a lack of order. It is the raw material from which a higher order is born. The fivefold elaboration. 1. Esoteric, the trapped essence. In the internal alchemy, hexagram 3 is the moment the kundalini energy first stirs at the base of the spine. It is a volatile, unrefined heat. If you try to force it up the channel too fast while the upper centers are still blocked by dense astral debris, the water above, you create an internal short circuit. The esoteric directive here is conservation. You must let the pressure build safely within the crucible of the lower dantian or root chakra until it has the structural integrity to pierce through the darkness without scattering your vital life force. 2. Metaphysical, the law of potentiality. Metaphysically, this hexagram governs the transition from the unmanifested realm of pure thought into physical matter. Matter is stubborn. It resists change. When you introduce a high-frequency idea into a low-frequency environment, the environment fights back. This initial resistance is actually a cosmic screening process. It tests the validity of your intent. If the wave drops its frequency just because it hit a wall, it wasn't a true divine blueprint. It was just a fleeting thought. 3. Spiritual, the stage of the green blade. Spiritually, this is what the ancient texts call the dark night, or the growing pains of the soul. The Christos light has been conceived inside the temple, but it hasn't matured. You are no longer comfortable in the old dead world, but you haven't fully stepped into the new one yet. You are suspended in the middle. The Spirit of Spirits, divine feminine, reminds you here that a mother does not force a child out before its time. You must endure the dark incubation period. 4. Afrocentric, the emergence from Nun. In the Kemetic cosmology, this is the first mound of earth rising out of the infinite chaotic primordial waters of Nun. It is unshaped, muddy land. Before you can build a pyramid or a temple on that mound, the mud has to dry and settle. The initiate at this stage is told to appoint helpers, meaning align yourself with the cosmic principles, the Neteru, and the ancestors to establish a firm grid before you attempt to govern or conquer. 5. Western application, the law of the first rep. In the material grind, this is the sheer friction of starting a heavy set when your muscles are cold. The first few reps feel clumsy, heavy, and awkward. Your mind tells you to drop the weight because it doesn't feel smooth yet. Hexagram 3 is the blueprint for pushing past that mental friction. It says, expect the mess. Do not look for perfection on day 1. Expect the lag, expect the static, and keep moving with systematic robotic discipline until the momentum shifts. The ultimate soul directive, it furthers one to appoint helpers. The oracle gives a very specific warning for this state. Do not act completely alone, and do not move blindly. When the atmosphere is foggy and full of potential, rushing forward causes you to trip over your own feet. Instead, you must organize your internal forces. Group your thoughts, lock down your daily routines, and anchor your mind to the ultimate truth. You don't need to see the whole mountain right now. You just need to make sure your footing on the current step is unshakable. The seed doesn't fight the dirt. It just keeps absorbing nutrients and expanding its roots until the dirt can no longer hold it back. Stay rooted,